Hey fam, what's good? I hope this you're well and keeping safe. Welcome back to another one. Right? So today we're gonna find ourselves looking at the DXY and the Nasdaq once again. But before we're gonna tap into the Nasdaq, let's scale to the DXY and see what is up, what is happening right over here. You know what? If you want some more framework of what is happening, please do go check out the previous week's breakdown we found ourselves having on the DXY, right? So we basically find ourselves boxing out this beautiful area of supply right over there. And we can see that we actually tapped within the area of supply. We had a beautiful rejection back towards the downside. Now, you guys know that I don't find myself using indicators, but the DXY is basically my indicator for the NASDAQ, right? So this shift back towards the downside had a beautiful influence on the NASDAQ as well, pushing us towards the upside, and that is what we can see price find itself doing, right? So currently on the DXY, I will just expect something like this maybe to find itself happening, right? Keep in mind that we also still have these relatively equal lows coming through right over here, which can fuel a further continuation move for the Nasdaq to have, towards the upside. But nonetheless, I am still waiting for the DXY to find itself having somewhat of a pushback towards the downside, take out our equal lows, wait for some sort of a rejection for a further continuation move back towards the upside, back into our BOB as we have right over there, right? So we basically said that if price is going to find itself having a further continuation move back towards the upside and have a closure above our area of supply, this will simply mean that we can see that further continuation move back towards the upside as well, right? But as if now, I still do have my eye out on these beautiful lows right over there before wanting to see price have some sort of a shift back towards the upside, right? But just keep in mind that if we are going to find ourselves having the shift towards the upside, have the closure above, you know what, I will still be waiting for price to have some sort of a pushback towards the upside, at least back into our BOB right over there. Okay, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. So looking at the Nasdaq, let's scale to our monthly time frame, right? So what we basically said on the monthly time frame is that, hey, we do need to create somewhat of a wick towards the downside for a further continuation move back towards the upside, right? But then at the same time, we are also finding ourselves creating that higher high right over there. So we need to see price have somewhat of a pushback towards the downside as well, right? We need the correction because we can see that we are having the beautiful impulse correction impulse, right? And we haven't found ourselves having a correction just of yet. This one close down close candle right over there, that's not a correction in my eyes, right? A correction is two or more consecutive candles, right? But we can't see that just of yet. So I'm still waiting for price to find itself creating that beautiful correction, right? And if we want to see the monthly time frame have some sort of a shift back towards the downside, we need to see our weekly time frame change market structure as well, right? We need to see the weekly time frame changing market structure from this bull market back into a bearish market. And currently we can see that, you know what, we actually had a huge shift back towards the downside and then another huge shift back towards the upside as well, and this can simply fuel a further continuation move back towards the upside as well, right? So all we can find ourselves doing at this current moment is just simply be reactive with price and just participate with what price is basically presenting to us, right? So looking at our weekly time frame, right, let's zoom price in just a little bit. All right, let's zoom price in just a little bit. So with this little correction we have found ourselves creating right over here, we can simply see that we did find ourselves creating somewhat of a fair value gap, right? Right over there. Right over there, we find ourselves creating a fair value gap and we had a closure above. So this to me basically indicates that, you know what, there is still that possibility for us having a further continuation move back towards the upside, right? Many would most probably look at this as some indecisive candles, right? Huge push down, huge push back up, right? What do I do now? Right? What do I do now? Going to the 2 week time frame, right? A whole lot of back and forth, back and forth. What do I do now? Right? But all we can find ourselves doing is to simply be reactive with what price has presented. to us, right? So let's scale to the daily time frame and see if the daily time frame can at least give us something more clear, right? And looking at the daily time frame, we can see that we are having more PA, more price action, so we can find ourselves being a little bit more, reactive with what price has presented to us right over here. Now, over the course of last week, what did we say? We basically pointed out these relatively equal highs, which is finding itself coming through right over there, right? And we can see that we also did find ourselves having a beautiful, beautiful pushback towards the upside from our, previous weekly gap right over there. Right, we can see that we had a beautiful, beautiful shift back towards the upside from this area onwards, and the area we find ourselves boxing out was this beautiful, beautiful equal high to where price can potentially find itself having somewhat of a pushback into. Right now, looking at the daily time frame, you know what? All I want to see price do is the following, right? I would like to see us take out these equal highs, and with us taking out the equal highs, I will then simply find myself preparing for some beautiful, beautiful shorts to find itself opening up, right? Now, currently, I do have two areas in mind. Keep in mind that I'm also looking at my DXY as well, right? So if we can see the DXY get to that low right over there, which we basically find ourselves pointed at, those relatively equal lows, right? And see some sort of a shift back towards the upside. This is when I will start preparing some shorts on the NASDAQ, right? So currently we still do have these relatively equal highs, as well as these relatively equal highs right over here as well as our fair value gap, which we also find ourselves pointed out few weeks ago, to which is basically a point of interest for us, right? As we can see, the fair value gap was created, but we never find ourselves coming back into the fair value gap as an actual retest. Okay, so that right there is basically serving as a point of interest in my eyes. All right, so looking at what we currently do have with price, if we can see the NASDAQ have some sort of a pushback towards the upside, leave some sort of a wick, right, I will find myself looking on taking price at least back into the 50% simply because that will be a liquidity sweep. So if I can get up my Fibonacci from this low, right, and let's say for instance we are finding ourselves creating the high somewhere over here whatsoever, right, I simply just want to see price come from a premium area all the way back down back into a discounted area, which is basically lining up within this area right over here. All right, this region right over there. And currently the area or the point of interest what I have in mind for some beautiful shorts over here will basically be this beautiful inversion fair value gap we have found ourselves creating right over there as a point of interest to where we can potentially see price come back into, right? So we had the actual closure above. All we need to find ourselves doing is basically come all the way back down, back into this region, as it is also finding itself lining up within our discounted area. Keep that in mind, right? Keep that in mind. But if we are going to see the NASDAQ have a closure above this area right over there with a body, right, what are we then finding ourselves doing? Not only are we going to find ourselves taking out buy side liquidity, but you know what, we are also going to find ourselves changing market structure from this bear market back into a bull market, right? So then we will have a change in market structure, right? A market structure shift, whatever you would like to find yourself calling it, right? But nonetheless, you are still going to find yourself looking at the exact same thing as well, right? You still want to see price come from a premium area back into a discounted area. That is ultimately what you are going to find yourself looking out for. So you know what, primarily for this week, based on what price action is basically presenting to us, you know what, if we are going to find ourselves having that beautiful shift to the upside, I will find myself then starting to prepare for some beautiful shorts to find itself opening up as well, right? Keep in mind that we are also tapping within an order block as well, and we're still within the order block as well, right? But all we are going to find ourselves doing is just simply monitoring our 4-hourly time frame, as well as the 4-hourly time frame is fueling the daily time frame. The daily time frame is fueling the weekly time frame. The weekly time frame is fueling the monthly time frame, right? So if you want to see some upside momentum, your 4-hourly time frame needs to be bullish in structure, and this will fuel the daily time frame to hit towards the upside as well, right? If your daily time frame is bullish in structure, this will fuel the weekly time frame to have a shift towards the upside. You catch my drift, right? Now, if we want to see price have somewhat of a shift back towards the downside, can we say that we can have that at this current moment? No, we cannot, right? Simply because we are still bullish in market structure, right? We're still bullish in market structure. Look at that. Impulse correction. Impulse, right? We haven't found ourselves changing market structure on our H4 time frame, right? So there is still that possibility for us basically having that beautiful shift back towards the upside before seeing some downside momentum, right? And on my 4-hourly time frame, a point of interest will basically be this region right over here, this beautiful free value gap lining up within our area of supply as well. So I will just simply find myself boxing out this whole area of supply like that, and just keep it on my charts, right? And just keep it on my charts just like that. Boom. Right. So if I can maybe see the NASDAQ has some sort of a pushback towards the upside, that take out buy side liquidity, take out buy side liquidity, take out our equal highs. What do we know about equal highs and equal lows? We do know that we are having liquidity resting above and below these areas. In this case, you know what, it is above, so I'm looking at it as let's find ourselves taking out liquidity and let's have some sort of initial push back towards the downside, right? So that right there is my outlook on this beautiful pair called the NASDAQ, right? So all I am simply waiting for is for price to find itself taking out our equal highs, and then find myself preparing for some beautiful shorts back towards the downside, right? That is my game plan for this up and coming week. What is your game plan? Are you still looking for further continuation moves back towards the upside, or what are you finding yourself looking out for? Me, Diego, all I just want to see is my equal highs being taken out, and then wait for some sort of a pushback towards the downside for a potential further continuation move back towards the upside, right? That is my game plan for this week. In the comment section, let me know what is yours. But other than that, hit the like, hit the subscribe button. It's me, your boy D. I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. I'm out.